Right, evening everybody. I think we're just at 7 o'clock. If everyone else makes it 7 o'clock.
Yes.
Excellent. Welcome everybody very much to our BSc Honours Veterinary Nursing Top-Up virtual open evening this evening. We'll just run through a little bit of housekeeping first, if that's okay. If you've got any questions, then do pop them in the Q&A box and we'll aim to answer everybody's questions after we've done a short presentation. If you've got any issues, sort of tech issues, then pop them in the chat and we will do our very best to support you with those. We are recording this session, so if anyone wants to go back and watch it later, then you're very welcome to. Okay, so first of all, I'll just introduce myself. So my name is Catherine Hemingway and I'm the programme leader for the BSc Veterinary Nursing Top-Up degree that we run jointly between Middlesex University and the College of Animal Welfare. And I'm joined by my colleagues this evening. Lauren, do you want to go first, introduce yourself?
Great. Yeah. Good evening, everybody. My name is Lauren Norton, and I am one of the BSc online tutors.
Lovely, thanks Lauren,
Thank
and
you.
Jess as well.
Hey, I'm Jess. I'm the Student Engagement Officer for the College of Animal Welfare. It's great to be here.
Lovely. Thanks both. That's great. So we've just got a few slides. We won't go on too long, I promise, but we will give you hopefully all the information you need about the programme. And a little bit later on towards the end, we've got a couple of our students who very kindly joined us this evening. So if you've got any particular questions that you want to direct at our current students, then we should be able to answer those for you as well. Okay, so we'll get going. So first of all, just some sort of general information about the programme and the aims of the programme and what we've sort of designed the programme to do. We've been running a top-up programme for a few years now. And we've been in partnership between the College of Animal Welfare and Middlesex University for a long time. I think we started in 1996. So we were the first providers to actually offer veterinary nursing at degree level in the UK. So alongside our top-up programme, we run a main, what I term our main BSc veterinary nursing programme as well. So we do train veterinary nurses coming straight out of college or school, for example, and stepping straight on onto a BSc that way. However, we do also have our BSc Veterinary Nursing Top-Up provision, which is for applicants who are already RVNs, so already registered veterinary nurses on the register with either a level 3 qualification or a foundation degree, and then wanting to top up their qualification to BSc honours level. We have very recently, literally hot off the press, revalidated the programme. So we've spent a lot of our lives over the last year have been spent doing that. And when we revalidated the programme, it was a brilliant opportunity for us to go back to sort of the basics, as it were, and really have a good look at what was working well for our students, what was perhaps working less well, and what the industry wanted. So what the veterinary nurses out there in the profession actually wanted from the programme. So we spent quite a lot of time listening to our stakeholders, our current students, our past students, and also veterinary nurses more widely to come up with the programme that we have got today, which was very recently validated by the university. And we'll take our first intake on our newly revalidated programme this September. So what are we aiming to do with this top-up programme? As I've just mentioned, it's an opportunity for registered veterinary nurses who've got a level 3 diploma or foundation degree to top up to BSc honours level. And we're really aiming at the end of the programme that you'll come out the other end as safe and competent but also reflective graduate veterinary nurses. So you're kind of taking that next sort of step up. We spend a lot of time developing skills in things like critical thinking. We look at veterinary patient care from a holistic point of view. So we look at the whole patient, sort of elements of the patient. We spend quite a bit of time looking at problem solving, analysing things, lots of reflection. Obviously, reflection's quite big now with things like 1CPD as well. And it's a really useful skill to have and develops you sort of professionally and personally too. We look at things like complex decision making and team working, autonomous practice, and we're really trying to, throughout the entire programme, encourage our students to really engage with lifelong learning and development, and particularly transferable skills as well. So certainly by the end of the programme, we wouldn't say, that's it, you're done now, you're the best you can be. We would actively encourage you to keep going with your studies, and sort of work with you to think about what your next steps are. And quite a number of our students come onto the programme as a stepping stone really for something else. So for example, to go off and do a master's degree in something, or perhaps to take a next step in their career professionally within the role they're in. And we really want our graduates to come out the other end of the programme really being inspired and being able to take all the skills that they've gained throughout the programme and really enhance the veterinary nursing profession, and how can we move veterinary nursing forward through areas such as research, education. We've had some graduates of the programme go into educational roles, leadership roles as well, and how we can all collaborate interprofessionally too. So we've got quite a few big aims for that programme, so we keep ourselves nice and busy. Entry requirement wise, minimum of a level 3 qualification in veterinary nursing, and you must also be registered as an RVN with the RCVS, or if you're an international applicant, then an equivalent veterinary nursing qualification and professional body registration is also fine. If you are an international candidate, then any certificates that you have do need to be officially translated into English and need to be stamped, and we do need to have evidence of competence in the English language as well. Okay. And delivery wise, we've again spent a lot of time listening to our stakeholders. Our current programme that we run did require students to come into one of our centres, and that was quite challenging. We do appreciate that everyone's busy with work and life in general, and quite often is not living in a location that's close by to one of our centres, which makes it tricky to come in. So the new programme is designed to be delivered via what we call distance learning. So it's all delivered online. There is no requirement to come into any of the university or the core centres. However, if you would like to, then you're more than welcome to. We do have a few students living in the London area who come onto the Henders campus to use the facilities there, and that's absolutely fine. We offer flexible study options as well. So you can study with us full-time or part-time, and a little bit later on Lauren will go through how that works. So again, to kind of fit around everything else that you might be doing. And we're using a mix of live seminars, so very similar to what we're doing now. We use a slightly different platform, but logging on and having a live session with other students and tutors, and what we call asynchronous learning, where the learning resources are online for you to access at a time that suits you. But we do ask that you keep up with those learning resources on a weekly basis. So each week, new learning resources are available for you to go through. And that's a real mix of resources. So sometimes it's things like pre-recorded mini lectures to watch, interactive lessons where you can do quizzes and drag and drop things, things like discussion forums, quizzes. There's loads of different things that we do. But as I say, you do those at a time that suits you during that particular week. So what we've really tried to do with the new programme is design it so people who are working as RVNs are actually able to do this and fit it in around their other commitments. Okay, Lauren, over to you.
Thank you, Catherine. So as Catherine just mentioned, actually, for those of us with other commitments, jobs, family, social life, hobbies, etc., probably I think one of the most appealing aspects of this course is that it can fit around your life. You can choose to study part or full time to suit your situation. So to explain that a little bit further, essentially the course delivers a total of 8 modules. If you choose to study full time, that means you'll study 4 modules per year. So it can be completed in 2 years, and if you choose part-time, this means 2 modules per year over 4 years. And we do offer that flexibility because, as we all know, life is really busy, but we don't feel like this should be a barrier to progression in your learning and in achieving your professional goals and aspirations. However, during the informal interview, which would take place if you did apply to come onto the course, we'll discuss all of the study options and your situation to help you determine which would be most suitable for you personally. So on this slide, you can see the route that you would take through both the full-time option on the left and the part-time option, which is on the right. So each route will study exactly the same modules in the end. It's just that the part-time option will be complete in 4 years and the full-time option can be complete in 2 years. So the module subjects were actually heavily influenced by a survey of the profession. I think Catherine mentioned this too. The College of Animal Welfare and Middlesex University both have a really strong culture of not only listening to learner feedback, but acting upon it. And essentially, we asked our students and potential students and anyone else involved in the programme what they would like to study as part of this course. What would be the most useful in advancing their skills and progressing to working at degree level? And this was the result. So, as per the full-time route, we start in year 1 with 4 modules. Firstly, evidence-based veterinary nursing. So, we all know the importance placed on evidence-based nursing practice. And this module is really designed to give you the skills to analyse and interpret evidence to inform your own nursing practice. We then move on to surgical veterinary nursing and veterinary nursing futures, where we refine your reflective skills and take a deep dive into current issues affecting the profession, followed by medical veterinary nursing. In year 1 of the part-time route, we cover evidence-based veterinary nursing and then medical veterinary nursing. So returning back to the full-time route on the left, in the second year, you then move on to ECC nursing, the quality improvement proposal, which culminates in the quality improvement project. So this is where your research skills gained in the first year can really be utilised, and you undertake your own quality improvement project. So we help you to become confident with navigating things like the RCVS knowledge resources. We look at interprofessional relationships and we refine your reflective skills, which, as Catherine mentioned, can really give that mandatory reflection part of your CPD log a much needed boost. We also cover anaesthesia for veterinary nursing practice, which is something I think lots of us have quite an interest in, but perhaps a lot of us sometimes shy away from taking on those more advanced cases. The part-time course follows a similar pattern, but with 2 modules per year rather than 4. So as you can see, the programme structure really provides that good balance of theoretical study, such as evidence-based veterinary nursing and the QI project or the quality improvement project, with the topics that can really benefit and progress your nursing practice, such as with medical and surgical nursing modules and anaesthesia. There really is something there for everybody. And I think that last sentiment is also mirrored in our assessment methods too. So the modules are assessed via a range of different methods, such as presentations, coursework, reflective journals, and of course the quality improvement project. And the programme culminates in a formal graduation, which is always a really lovely event. And quite honestly, it comes around so fast. So on that note, I will now hand over to Jess, who I think is going to talk you through the benefits of topping up to degree level. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, so there's lots of benefits to doing a top-up degree. So, for example, you're going to advance your skills, and that sort of definitely nicely leads on from what Lauren was saying. And advancing your skills in maybe anaesthesia, and I think that's a fantastic example. I love anaesthesia, and yes, you'll be able to build on your knowledge and maybe feel more confident and comfortable in those challenging cases. Or maybe you're wanting to have some career progression, become a head nurse, go into a specialism, so you can specialise and become an anaesthetologist, oncology, medical nursing, surgical nursing. You do anything really with this qualification. That's why I think it's so fantastic. And then you can go and get professional recognition. So having a degree, it really does add to your career and can open other opportunities. You go into education, you can go into other areas with this degree, and I think that's fantastic. Some of our graduates, they have gone on to do lots of exciting things, which I'm going to talk to you about that in a little bit, and so are our students. And then also it's about personal development, and it will increase your confidence really, and it is increased job satisfaction. The more knowledge you have, the more invested you are in your profession, the more confident you feel, the better you are going to be at being an RVN. And I think that's really wonderful and so important. And I'm sure like Lauren and Catherine agree with me as well. So there's some of the benefits. There is others, but we could be here for a while. So I'm going to move on to the next slide. That's okay. Excellent. So don't just take my word for it. This is one of our students. His name's Joseph, and he gave me some feedback. He is working now he's a specialist surgeon, surgical nurse, sorry, and he is doing some really wonderful things. He came and did a talk for our students that are on the undergraduate, and he's really found this top up really fantastic for his career. So he was telling me that he felt really supported. It fitted into his around his full-time job. He didn't really feel like it impacted him in any way. He found both of them easy to fit into his life, and he thought the support from the tutors and personal tutor was really excellent. They were always there to help and guide him, and also there if he needed anything extra support. Maybe he needed some further study skills or some further sort of wellbeing support. Well, he said that he felt really supported, which is great. And then also there, he liked the variety of modules that we offer and the different assessment formats, because we've really well thought out our programme. And he said he would highly recommend it to other students, which I think is really important. So that is Joseph. There is obviously other students here, so thank you guys for coming, and we'll hear from them at the end. And I'll hand back to Catherine. I think that's me. I think I finished my bit. Thank you.
Lovely, thanks, Jess. Just remember to unmute myself at the last second there. So, key bits now, how to apply. We take applications via a couple of routes, either via UCAS. So if you, very straightforward, we can put the links in the chat for you as well. But you can literally Google UCAS and apply that way, or via direct application as well. Do bear with us if the information that you find on the websites doesn't quite match up with the information that we've given you this evening. We are in the middle of updating the websites at the moment, and that just takes a little bit of time. Once we've received your application, it's reviewed by myself, and as long as you meet our entry requirements, we invite you to an informal interview. Please don't panic about this. It is not scary in any way, shape or form. You don't need to prepare anything at all. It's just a chance to catch up with either myself or one of the other tutors. We go through the course in detail with you, answer any questions you've got, just double check your application and make sure we've got all the information that you need, and probably most importantly, have a conversation about whether part-time or full-time route is most appropriate for you. And that's probably the key thing for us to get right. So you can apply via either route. Applications at the moment are open. We do have space for the intake in September. We've got some students confirmed with us already, but we've certainly got more space as well. We do ideally like you to apply by sort of start of August, really, just because it takes a little bit of time to get, as with all computer processes, applications through the system and to the right people and so on and so forth. And applying any later than that is possible, but sometimes it just delays your start to the programme, and delaying the start on the programme is not ideal. Being present for Welcome Week in the first few weeks is really, really key. So if you can get your applications in by the start of August at the latest, it does give us the opportunity to process them properly and get you enrolled and get you started. However, if for any reason it's a little bit later than that, don't panic, we still will look at it for you. And if we can get you on in time, we will do. Okay. And fees, probably very important as well. So the current fees are on the university website, and I've just taken the information and popped it onto this slide, but do be aware that the most up-to-date fees are also always included on Middlesex University's website, so do go and look there. At the moment, the full-time fees for each year are £9,250. So if you studied full time, they would be your fees. If you studied part time, it's essentially half of that. And my maths brain is not quite fully functioning and quick at the moment to do that in my head. But it's basically half the fees for each year. In the end, you'd end up paying the same amount for the whole course. And the fees for international students are on the slide there as well. You do get quite a few things included in your fees. So in addition to obviously all the learning for the course and all the teaching and learning on the course, there's free access to all the resources and the learning materials and the software that you need. You can loan laptops from the university for up to 24 hours, but because this is a distance program, we do highly recommend that you have your own laptop, or desktop is equally fine. Tablets aren't ideal, to be honest. So desktop or a laptop with a good Wi-Fi connection and a headset and a webcam, really. You can, if you come onto campus, get free printing as well. And we do offer also free online training with LinkedIn Learning, which do lots of sort of little courses as well. The other bonus is we run a core text scheme, which is a textbook scheme. So for each module that you study on the programme, you get an e-textbook to keep after you finish the programme. So we arrange things so that you get a different module, a different textbook, sorry, per module. So by the end of the programme, if you complete the full course, then you've got 8 textbooks to keep on an ongoing basis. The university has lots of other support systems in place, which I can't possibly fit on a slide, or probably even 10 slides, to be honest. It'd be more than that. You can go onto their website and have a look around. That information is all freely available. But to give you a little bit of an idea, lots of online wellbeing resources, access to counselling services. We have a disability and dyslexia service. So if you do come to us with an existing disability or additional learning need, we strongly encourage you to register with the DDS service to be assessed, and then we can put the appropriate support in place for you as well. We also run an academic advising system at Middlesex University. It's the sort of the new updated personal tutoring system, if you like. So you're allocated an academic advisor who should stay with you for the entire course, and we do incorporate sort of academic advising sessions throughout the course, looking at your personal developers as well as your academic development too. But lots and lots and lots of resources available to our students. Okay, I think we're at the point of questions. So Lauren, you're going to very gamely take hold of the Q&A box,
Yes,
aren't you?
that's correct, Catherine. Yes, please. So we've actually got some fantastic questions coming in. So thank you to everyone that's contributed to that.
Lovely.
The first question we have actually is, what master's degrees have students gone on to do? Whilst I was a main programme graduate rather than a top up, I went on to do a master's in clinical animal behaviour. And that obviously wouldn't have been open to me had I not been a degree holder. So it's been very beneficial for me in that respect.
Yeah.
Catherine and Jess, are you aware of any other master's degrees that students have gone on to do?
We've got one student who's about to go on and do a master's degree that comes to mind. I think it's equine physiotherapy they're going off
Oh,
to do.
fantastic. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So that's the one that springs to mind. I'd have to go and have a look back through all my records to see.
Yeah.
Lauren just mentioned, Lauren's a graduate of our main programme, aren't you, Lauren, a few years
I
ago?
am.
And we have
Yeah.
another tutor who also graduated from our main programme a few years ago. And she's doing her, well, a postgraduate teaching qualification as well. So I think that the main thing really is that with a degree in your back pocket, a number of different master's degrees will be open to you depending on what interests you, really, I guess.
There's an
Absolutely.
anaesthesia masters from Edinburgh. That's
Mhm.
very good. I
Oh,
know someone who's doing that.
lovely.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Thank
Thanks,
you very
Jess.
much. Okay, so the next question we've got come up, actually a couple of people have asked this. Do you have to be working full time in practice to complete the top up degree?
No, that was
Thank
an
you.
easy answer. But
Thought it might
I
be.
know Fabio and Keely, two of our current students are here. I know Keely's juggling with work, but I don't know if either of them are able to switch cameras on and come on mic and maybe just discuss balancing the program with working as well.
That might be helpful. While they
Yeah, well,
turn their cameras and mics on,
yeah,
we had another similar question that I might just chip in as well, actually. We had a couple of people
absolutely.
asking about, how many hours per week might you expect to study?
Mhm.
So while Keely or Fabio turn their cameras and mics on, just to provide
Ah,
some
hello.
guidance in
Okay,
terms of time
okay.
commitment. Um,
I'll do
each
that, shall
module.
I? Yeah, I'll do that, and then we can go back to Fabian Keeler. Yeah. Do you want to do it, Lauren, or do you want me to do it? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say actually that in terms of guidance of time commitment,
Hmm.
each module provides around 4 guided learning hours per week, plus some of your own independent study, such as sort of reading around the subject, making your own notes.
Hmm.
Full-time students study 2 modules per semester, and part-time study 1 module per semester.
Yeah.
So that kind of just gives a bit of a rough guide of how many hours per week you might expect to study. I can see Fabio's got his camera on. Hi, Fabio.
Oh, you're right. Good evening.
Good, thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Fabio.
Oh,
Could
no
you just
worries.
give us your sort of take on how you slotted it all in and juggled it all?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, I guess as expected for a degree, the workload it is large, and it can be hard to juggle when working full time. So I work full time alongside doing the degree, and I think, well, year one, I started the degree full time.
Yeah.
And then after I finished year one, I spoke to Catherine and we made the plan for me to move on to part time instead. And that was definitely a huge relief for me at the time, trying to, juggle workload alongside it. And I think even part times, there's been, if I'm being honest, there's been times where I've kind of struggled with the workload. But I guess the biggest thing is that, the lecturers are there to help and support, and just keeping that kind of open dialogue and, communicating it with them. There's always a solution to, the problem that you might be facing. So keep an open dialogue and it will be okay.
It's always okay, isn't it? No, thanks. That's a really key point, actually, that there is flexibility to switch between study modes, but only at certain points of the program. But as Fabio said, if you come and talk to us, there's always an option. There's always an option for something. Yeah. Thanks, Fabio.
Thank you. Another question that's coming through is regarding, what time are the sessions? Are they live? Are they weekdays? So I'm happy to chip in for this one if that's okay, Catherine.
Yep, go for it.
So teaching is delivered via a combination of live online sessions, so approximately 1 to 2 hours every other week per module, as well as some asynchronous teaching. So that means that the latter, the asynchronous teaching aspects, can be completed at your convenience during that week. So it gives you that flexibility to complete essentially the majority of your learning at a time to suit you around your other commitments.
Yeah. What we're trying to do, I'm timetabling at the moment. So if anyone's involved with rotas in practice, I'm sure you can sympathise with what we're doing. So we do try and keep it manageable for people, and we do try and give you as much notice as possible. But yes, there are some live sessions, and we would expect you to come along to those to keep up to date with all of your learning.
Thank you, Catherine. Another question coming through, actually. Do you have any space for intake this year?
Yes.
Thank you,
Another
Catherine.
easy answer. We absolutely do.
Yeah, that's great. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So if you want to apply, please do. Please do.
Perfect. And do you find many students do full-time study while working full-time, or do you find that they tend to be part-time students?
Oh, that's a really good question. And it comes down to when we have the informal interview a little bit, and it depends on what you mean by full time. So, full time for some people is 5 days a week and very long hours. And perhaps on top of other commitments, in which case I would categorically advise you not to study full time, to study part time. But full time for other people, for example, if they're on an out of hours contract, actually full time study can work quite well. So if you're, for example, working a week, 1 week of nights on and 2 weeks off, and you're considering that to be full time, then you probably could do this full time as well. But it very much depends on not only what you're doing work-wise, but what you're doing outside of work. So perhaps if if you've got children or you've got elderly parents that you need to look after, or you've got an ongoing sort of volunteering responsibility, or whatever else it is, you need to look at the whole picture. So it very much depends. We have had and have got some students who are working full-time and studying full-time. But as Fabio's alluded to, it's not easy. And to do well on the program, you do need to put the hours in. So Lauren's saying it's about 4 guided learning hours a week, but we would expect you to be doing a lot of wider reading on top of those 4 hours, and particularly when you're doing things like preparing for assessments as well. One thing, just thinking about assessments, one thing that we didn't mention, which I'm sure everyone will be delighted about, is there are no exams associated with this programme, which when I say that, everyone normally does a little sigh of relief. So no exams, it's all coursework, which is quite nice. So we've taken the exams away. But some of the bigger assessments towards the end of the programme, so we currently have a dissertation which is changing to the QI project, that does require a significant time commitment to do that. So there's no right answer to that, and there's no one answer. It very much depends on what you're doing in your entire life and how much time you can dedicate to this. Just to give you an idea of how the academic calendar works, we work on a 2-semester-a-year basis. So we have a 12-week semester that runs from about mid-September to Christmas-ish, and then one that runs from mid-January to Easter-ish, depending on when Easter falls. So you've got 2 reasonably intense 12-week study periods a year, and then as long as you pass everything first time, there's a really nice long summer break. So again, if you can juggle things around to perhaps put other things to one side for those 12 weeks, you can do it. If you're in any doubt, my advice would be go part-time.
Thank you,
Hopefully that's
Catherine.
helpful.
That's great. Just sort of tagging along on a point you just made, there was another question coming through about are there sort of typical breaks that you'd see at
Yeah.
university?
Yes.
Would you just emphasise when we get those breaks?
Absolutely, yeah. So we start, I think Welcome Week this year starts on the 16th of September. I'm saying that, it's a Monday. So either the 16th or the 17th. So there's a Welcome Week. And then there's 12 weeks of learning up until Christmas. There's a Christmas break that's about 4 or 5 weeks. We've had a change to the academic calendar this year, so bear with me while I'm trying to remember the new system. And then we start back in mid-January for another 12 weeks, which Easter may or may not fall into. It depends on when Easter is. And then as long as you've passed everything, that's it. So from April-ish until September-ish, you're free to do whatever you want. If you've not passed everything first time for any reason, or you've deferred something, then there's another assessment window over the summer. So it might just be that you need to carry on studying for a little bit there for your assessments.
Fantastic. Thank you, Catherine. Another sort of related question, actually. Someone was asking about sort of what the structure, the plan of the course, do we have a list of dates and hand-in dates for the assessments that they can have a look at so they can see if it works around their full-time role? I wonder if linking to the academic calendar would be useful.
Yes, yeah, no, we do. I don't have exact dates per se, but there's lots of change going on at the moment, which is very exciting. So as well as the new programme, we've got a new academic calendar and something called a new learning framework. So the idea with our new learning framework is that students actually complete the assessments for that module within that 12-week period. So most of our modules, apart from the QI proposal and the project, contain 2 assessments. So one assessment will be submitted midway through the module at about week 6-ish, and the other assessment will be submitted at the end of the module in week 12. So again, once that 12-week period's done, it's done. So when you're on Christmas break, you will have Christmas break, and you will have summer break as well. Exact dates you would get when you enroll on the course, and we publish the module handbooks as well, but you get those at the beginning of each module, so you can pop them in diaries and things.
Thank you so much, Catherine. It was just a question actually about entry requirements. Someone was asking, do you consider any previous CPD qualifications as credits towards the course at all?
Potentially, yes. We do have something called an RPEL system, which is recognition of prior learning. So potentially we do. So if you've got anything that you think would qualify towards credits, pop it on your application, and then when we look at applications, we can look at that for you.
Thank you so much. The next question was, do you need a degree to become a college lecturer?
Well, there's a question. It's a good question.
It's
So
a good one, isn't it?
yeah, no, it's a very good question, because I know lots of people are thinking about sort of teaching in the future and things. It depends on what courses you want to teach on. So at the College of Animal Welfare, we also run a level 3 veterinary nursing diploma, and to teach on our level 3 qualification, no, you wouldn't need a degree. To come and teach on this qualification, so to come and teach on the degree, yes, you would. So it would depend on what type of course you wanted to lecture on. I know veterinary nurses sometimes go and teach at further education colleges on things like animal management courses, and I don't want to say exactly because I can't talk for every single further education course in the country, but my understanding of that is no, you wouldn't necessarily need a degree, but normally to teach on a degree you would. Yeah.
Thank you very much. There was a question about student loans. Can applicants receive a
Absolutely.
student loan?
Yes, absolutely. You can go and investigate student loans and see if you're eligible. It depends on you as an individual and what loans, if any, you've had in the past, but absolutely you can go and explore student loans. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And are there any practical lessons or weekend attendance required as part of this course?
There isn't. No, there's not. So it's all solely delivered online for the flexibility and convenience, really. So no requirement to come in at the weekends or anything. But we do run other events which, as a student of the course, you're entitled to attend. So Jess, I don't know if you wanted to mention about Careers Week and Student Congress as well.
Yeah, so we do our online student congress for all student nurses, or ones that have qualified but are doing a top-up degree. So it's all students. We introduced that last January, and it's to encourage coming together, learning from each other, learning from lecturers outside in industry, like really experienced members of our profession, really. And it was really great, wasn't it, Lauren? Lauren was there with me. She helped me plan it, and it was really good. So you've got the opportunity to attend that. It is all day, but it is online. And at the moment, we're currently planning it, and it's got we're hoping for anesthesia, so we're hoping for an anesthesia session, an exotic animal session, and I will be putting a social media post out soon, giving anyone the opportunity to say what they'd like to see on their congress. So you can choose what exotic topic you might like, whether it's rabbits, birds, other small furries, etc., or reptiles. And then the same for anesthesia, what you'd like to see. Maybe it's critical care cases, where it's the difficult case we were talking about earlier, or maybe it's capnography, or other monitoring. So yes, you can get involved there. It's a really good day. There's competitions and other bits and pieces, and it's a really good way to network, meet people, ask questions, whether you're undergraduate or whether you're topping up. So I think it's really sort of good to attend. And then we do other career events. So we do online days, and then we've got on-site days, and again we get people from industry to come in, get some past students to come in. As I say, Joseph came and did help me with the careers event last time. That was really sort of nice to see where he'd advanced to and what he was doing, and he is very special. Max now, hopefully in my mind, he's amazing, and it's really good to see. And there'll be other events and bits and pieces. And then also in terms of your course, so as a student engagement officer, I will be in touch with all students to see how your program's doing. You can come to me at any time to give me feedback on your program and all those sorts of things, really. So that's what I do. And yeah, I'll hand back, I think.
Thank you, Jess. The next question we have is whether applicants need to be working in practice to complete this top-up degree. We've got a few people asking, for example, do they need to have access to cases to complete this qualification?
Okay, yeah, no, really good question. So some of the assessments are can be case studies, should we say, but if you haven't got a suitable case study, then we will provide you with a fictional case study. So if you're not working, say for example, if you're on a maternity leave or between jobs or whatever, and you haven't got access to a suitable case, that wouldn't be a barrier to completing the course. Or if you're in a non-clinical position, again, wouldn't be a barrier at all.
Thank you so much. We've just got a question as well. You may not know the answer, but do you have any idea of what might actually qualify for recognition of prior learning?
Oh, very good question.
Yeah,
And I'm
I'm not
literally
sure.
working on that this week. So normally it's formal qualifications. So things like, for example, foundation degrees or other level 5 qualifications. So for example, attending webinars and things probably wouldn't be. So it's normally a formal qualification which you've studied at a particular academic level. But if you have got anything that you think might count, then do pop it on your application and we'll look through it.
Fantastic, thank you. And another question actually about student loans. Do you have any information about how applicants could look into whether they're eligible for student loans? How do they apply?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you look on the university, Middlesex University's website, there's a whole page about finance and funding, fees and funding and finance. So have a little look on there. There's lots of information and we can pop that link in the chat for you as well. But also looking on the student loan website directly too. I will freely admit student loans is not the academic team's area of expertise, should we say, so I don't want to advise anybody incorrectly, but there's certainly information out there on the university's website and also directly through the student loans company about student loans too.
Thank you, Catherine. We had another question coming through about student loans. Again, this might be one that's best directed to those resources, but just in case you had any idea, do you know if the maintenance part of the student loan is available to full-time students with it being all online?
I wouldn't
think
want
that
to
might be
answer that
best.
because I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We can definitely direct you to the website and answer that. Yeah, I wouldn't want to give you the wrong answer to that one.
Thank you so much, Catherine.
Thanks.
The final question that I've got actually, is the MVQ level 3 equivalent to the level 3 diploma?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I don't have any more questions at the moment. Obviously, if anyone is here and wishes to add another question, please do feel free to.
Fabulous.
The funding link has been put into the chat, and how
lovely.
to apply has been put into the chat as well, just so everyone knows.
Oh, excellent. So everyone can pick those links up. Thanks, Jess. While we're seeing if there's any more questions, I don't know if Fabio and Keely are able to do mics and cameras again. I know Keely's juggling bits and bobs. Just while we've got you here.
Hi there, can you hear me?
We can hear you, Keely.
Oh,
How's it going?
Yeah, really good. I'm having trouble with my camera.
Oh, okay, that's fine. We can hear you.
At all.
That's
so,
okay.
Yeah, really sorry.
No, it's all right.
Yeah.
Would you
so
mind just
anyway.
sharing your experience of the course, Keely, for us?
Yeah. So I qualified as a veterinary nurse when in 2000. So I think I'm a bit of an older student, you guys. But oh, sorry, I just need to connect to the Wi-Fi. 1 second. Not allowing me to. That's fine. So I wanted to start studying just to bring me up to date with the new nurses that were coming out, to be honest. And the whole experience has just been absolutely brilliant with you guys. I've really enjoyed it. Are you still there? Oh, there we go.
Unmuted. Yes, no, we're still here.
Yes,
still here.
And we are listening.
So I think most of all, the degree has just given me a more opportunity to just feel much more confident in myself, much more confident as a veterinary nurse. I feel like I had lots of gaps in my knowledge as a veterinary nurse because I did qualify. I don't know if anybody else has the same experience, but I qualified with a little green practical book. And it was a very long time ago, so there were gaps in my knowledge with the RCVS code of professional conduct, evidence-based veterinary nursing, pharmacology, and I just feel that this degree has given me that confidence to actually move forward with my career now.
That's amazing.
And be in the same room as, be on the same level as students that are coming out now, and they're all, such bright sparks, and it's just given me more confidence with being a clinical coach, that I've got that knowledge and that experience now, and the experience of being a nurse for over 20 years, that I've now got the theoretical knowledge as well to bring me up to speed with everyone. So yeah, it's been really beneficial, really beneficial for me. Yeah, so thanks guys, you've been brilliant.
Thank you, Keely. That's
great.
lovely. No, it's been a pleasure. Keely's nearly finished, haven't you, Keely? Almost at the
hoping
end.
that I have finished.
You have
I'm
finished. No,
hoping
you
I've
have.
finished. Yeah, I'm just waiting for my final grades, you know, now that they've all been ratified and everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, hoping to graduate in June. So
In June. Hopefully it'll be nice and sunny. It normally is.
it's been
Normally
a
is.
long haul, but it's been worth it. It's been worth it
Yeah.
every step of the way. And juggling with, I'm a full-time mum. Well, I'm a mum of 2 teenagers, and work full-time as well. And juggling that, it is manageable. It is manageable, but you do need support at home as well. My husband has been really supportive with the boys. I did have to drop a day, but that was purely because my children, I wanted to spend time with my family, quality time with my family as well. So I decided to study, drop a day during the week at work and study during the week when they were at school and at work, and then I could spend more time over the weekend with them. So it is manageable, but you might have to just jiggle things around a little bit to get there.
That's lovely. Thanks, Keely. Thanks, Keely. Fabio, do you want to? Because
Yeah,
you're busy as well.
yeah.
Your work's very busy.
Yeah, congratulations, Keely, on completing. I mean, I'm very nearly there too. I just have my
Yeah.
dissertation to go, and I'll be, fingers
You'll
crossed,
be nearly there.
in the summer
Almost there.
too. Almost there, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think the degree overall, I mean, it's obviously it's quite a niche degree for specifically for foundation degree nurses or level 3 diploma nurses. And I do just think it's a great opportunity, and I'm really glad that I've done it. And obviously coming near to the end now. But I think the 3 main motivations for me personally to do the degree was that not so much now, I don't tend to do quite so much clinical work anymore, but previously I was a clinical coach to degree students in practice, and it started to become evident to me that they did have a kind of higher level of theory knowledge than myself, having completed the level 3 diploma back in 2017. And I wanted to be able to kind of match their level of knowledge on, you know, different aspects of, you know, vet nursing. The second reason I decided to do it was a personal life goal of mine as well, to be able to be educated to degree level. And this, you know, this niche degree was a perfect opportunity for me. And then my third reason was the postgrad study options that it would make available to me once I've completed. So my hope is to study a master's in physiotherapy after I've completed this degree, and the entry requirements I need a bachelor's degree to be able to enter onto the program. So yeah, that's kind of my plan going forward. But I think, like Keely said, it's you know, the program is brilliant. The lecturers are really kind of invested in you as well, and are always available to help and support. And I'm very, very glad I've done it, and very soon completing.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. Thank you, Fabio, very much. Keely and Fabio have been with us for quite a long time now. I think, Keely, you were one of our first ones to start, weren't you, on the top up? So
Yeah,
it's been a
I started
pleasure
years
supporting you
ago.
both.
No, it's been great. You guys, I think like everything that Fabio has said is every reason that I've undertaken this degree as well. And I'm so grateful that I've done it. I can't believe that I finished it. I never thought I'd be able to do a degree, but it's credit to you guys as well, because there's just been so much support. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. So it's really worth it.
I think that's a key thing, actually, and thank you both for pointing that out. We're quite a small academic team, but the tutors have all they've all obviously done their degree at some point, and they've all normally have done or are doing further study themselves. So Lauren's just finished her master's. I'm in the middle of mine, so that's hopefully that's ongoing. So we do genuinely understand what it's like to study and balance life and everything else as well. So we're quite a small team, and we're really invested in our students and really genuinely want them to succeed. And with Jess on board now, our student engagement officers, listening is what we do, and we do it rather well, don't we? We think. So yeah,
I
does
would
make a difference.
concur.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, student voice is huge for us. As I say, this whole new program has pretty much been designed on what our current students, previous students, and hopefully future students have told us that they want. ECC was the most popular module by far, so that's definitely in there. So I always joke that if I had £1 for every time somebody told me they wanted to do the ECC module, that'll be it. I'd be gone into the sunset. I'd be a millionaire. So yeah, we really hope that we've designed a program, you know, for our students that they're really going to want to do. Have we got any more questions, Lauren, or have we?
Catherine, we do actually.
Oh,
The
excellent.
session
Okay.
is being recorded, but
Yes.
we had somebody asking how can they access it after?
Oh, there's a good point. Now, our lovely events team reliably inform me that I think they're just going to share the link. So the link will come out. Oh, I don't want to say this now. Either emailed, thank you.
There we go.
I was like, are we going to email it or not? Yes, we're going to email the link to everybody afterwards, so you can catch up on it. And then if you've got colleagues or friends who missed it who want to catch up, they'll be able to do that as well. Yeah.
Brilliant.
And always happy to answer questions as well. So you can just email into the college with our general email address and ask questions. We've got a BSc email address as well, which I can put in the chat if I can type properly and spell, which is always helpful, isn't it? So bscadmin@core.ac.uk. So yes, if anybody wants to email in, that's fine. We can do that as well.
Thank you, Catherine. That we've actually not got any more questions coming through yet.
Okay. We're running a little bit early, aren't we? We're 10 minutes early, but
Early.
I don't think that's a bad thing if we're all done. I'll just ask permission from our events team. Are we allowed to finish early if we're finished? Is that a thing we can do?
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't want to break the rules. That's fabulous. Amazing. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for coming and for your evening, giving up your evening. Massive thank you to Fabio and Keelia as well for giving up their time for us this evening. Thank you so much for popping your views forward as well. And thank you to Lauren and Jess too, and also the core events team for setting all of this up. So hopefully we'll see some applications coming through soon from some of you. As I say, if you've got any more questions, just drop them to the BSc admin email address. If our administrator can't answer them for you, she'll forward them to me and I'll get back to you as well. Fabulous. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.